You're probably wondering where I am right now. I'm on the outskirts of Victoria on Vancouver Island, but we'll get back to that in a minute. So I left on this journey of mine August 1st, which means I've been sleeping in my van for over 30 days now. At first it was really weird. I felt out of place, and now it's become home. It's all I know at this point, so pretty comfortable with that fact. Since you guys have last seen, we've added a lot of artwork to the van. Some of them friends from back home, some of them friends from on the road. Everybody adding just a little splash of personality, and I mean, I love it. It draws a lot of attention, which in some cases can be bad, but I haven't had any real trouble yet. But I just want to get you guys caught up on this last month of mine. August 1st, I left Edmonton, my home, and went straight to Calgary. Stayed in Calgary for about a week. Not too much happening in Calgary. It was relaxing. It was a good start because I was able just to park in a Walmart parking lot for the majority of the time, so I didn't really have any stresses on finding a place to sleep, so I could still kind of get used to everything. I went to a peace festival that was happening, and it was late at night, and they let off little lanterns into their little pond, and then it just started absolutely pouring. I just got soaked. I had to take the train back to the van and get all dried off and go to sleep. But it was definitely a good fun. From Calgary, I drove to Canmore, which is about an hour and a half out of Calgary, and I stayed there for a few days in a Safeway parking lot and a Canadian Tire parking lot, both of which were highly used by people living in their van. So when I was in Canmore, I decided to try and climb a mountain. I really enjoy hiking and exploring and backpacking and all that, so I figured I'd give it a shot. So my app that I had said it was a moderate climb, so I figured, hey, it's not going to be that hard to do. I'll bring my camera gear with me, and it all is really heavy. So it was supposed to be a 2-hour climb up and an hour climb down. I think it took me 2.5 hours to 3 hours to get up. Maybe 3.5. It took me a while. I lost track of time. I was dying from 10 minutes in. It wasn't a hill that went up and then went flat and then went up. It was straight up. So I kept persevering through. There was no way I was going to give up because it was just me. I had to prove it to myself, so I had to do it. I got to the top, legs fried out completely, but I had the most magical view, maybe the most magical view I've ever seen. The clouds were just scraping by. I tried to make it before the clouds went above the mountain, because earlier in the day when I was leaving, they were all below the peak of the mountain, so I would have been above the clouds at that point, but I didn't wake up really enough for that, sadly. I met great people up there, and it was beautiful. I stayed up there for a while. It started to rain, so I was like, I better get down. And getting down, my legs weren't there. They were shaking, and they were like plump, 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 plump. And so then I left Canmore. I went to Rebelstokes for a couple days, and they have this ride the mountain pipe roller coaster type thing. Wasn't able to bring my camera on it. They wouldn't let me because I don't have like a strap or anything. It was quick, but it was fun. It was actually pretty unique to do that. I also stayed along the river I got my first warning notice. I didn't get kicked out or anything. I was just parked along the river for 2 days in a row, and they didn't like that, I guess. Also, before I left, I broke my phone, and that wasn't fun. Not having a phone for a few days was really complicated because I didn't have any kind of mapping. How I broke my phone was first thing in the morning, all dressed up like I am now, and I was out of water. And so I have one of these water bottle filtration systems that I can just scoop up some water from anywhere and just filter it good to drink. So I figured I would go get some of the water on the river because it was ice cold. It was so nice and refreshing. So I went and scooped some up, and as I was leaning down to scoop it up, one of the rocks was slippery, and I went whoop, right into the water. That woke me right up. And I was in there for maybe like 10 seconds because I was trying to get out and it was slippery. I got out just drenched and took my phone out, threw it in some rice. It was supposed to be waterproof, but one of the ports opened up, I guess, in the water, and it didn't end up working after that. So I then left for Vernon. That's where my grandfather was staying, and he offered to let me stay up there with him for a bit. And so I arrived on my birthday, the 17th. I arrived in Vernon, made some friends at a local Starbucks who they fed me some of their food because I was trying to conserve my money and I wasn't eating. Then I had the joy of having my friends join me. We were going to go originally right to Victoria and where I am now and stay there, but since my grandfather offered to let us stay up in Vernon with him, he put us up in a very nice hotel. It was such a lovely treat. So my friends arrived on the 20th of August. We stayed there for like 5 days. It was great. It was a spa type resort, so we got to go in all the saunas and the hot tubs, and it was great just spending time with them. I haven't seen them. Sam? Staying in there for that a little bit amount of time, we drove straight down to Osoyoos. We were gonna go right to Victoria, but I really wanted to go to Osoyoos, which is right on the border pretty much of Canada and the States, because they have this thing called the Spotted Lake, and it's just like it's like mineral deposits in the water, so when these circles form with different minerals in them with the heat, and it's really cool. Really cool to look at. I don't know if it was worth a stop to go check it out. It was just on the side of the road somewhere, but I figured I would do it anyways. Why not? And then we went straight to Victoria. We caught the ferry, which was extremely late to get here. We ended up catching the ferry around like 9:30, 10, and it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour ferry to get our vehicles across the ocean to the island here. And so we got here, we arrived, I don't know, like 11, 12 or whatever that is, and we immediately tried to find a place to sleep for the night. All the hotels were closed. I was going to sleep in my van anyways, but they weren't comfortable sleeping in their car, or they didn't want to sleep in their car. It came to that because every place was not open and full. So we just ended up driving around everywhere, and this was the hardest place I've ever had to find somewhere to sleep. Every place has a sign that says maximum 3 hours here, no overnight here. And so we ended up driving back and forth between places, and we're like, oh no, we have nowhere to sleep. And it was like 2 o'clock, and then we're like, we're just gonna pull up on the side of the road in some street area, or some residential street area, and just sleep, and we'll figure it out in the morning. We just needed to get some rest. We were done, we were beat. So that ended up being my first time ever parking out on the street of residential area, and it worked out fine. So I've been doing that a lot since then. So then we got a hotel, kind of crappy one, but expensive. This is why I like the van, because it's free, and hotels are like 100, 160 a night, and it's like hostels even are between like 30 and 50, and it's like, free, $50. They only stayed for a couple days, sadly. It ended up going by so incredibly fast, but I've been on the road for 20 days before they got here, so their little 10-day stop just went by in a breeze. We ended up, last day they were here, they left Sunday, and me and my friend got tattoos. So yeah, I love it. I was instantly addicted and I want to get more. It was just a money thing for me. I can't afford to get tattoos like that all the time. So they left Sunday and I've been here. I've been in Victoria for 2 weeks now, and I'm probably gonna head out in the next few days here. I just wanted to make sure I took in everything that I could here. I don't know when I'll be back. Well, I guess that's the same with every place, and that's why I stop and just take every area in for a couple days and then just move on. It's not like a fast. I need to get to my destination, which is California right now. I have no set time, no set date to arrive anywhere. It's all, and I'm running out of money now, which is, it's not that fun. I'm starting to think of like ideas if I'm gonna go back to Edmonton in the next month or so, month and a half, or if I'm gonna try and get work out here, if I'm gonna try and make more money online. Because I really don't want to stop. I'm not ready to stop yet. If you guys want to see a more in-depth tour around my van, let me know if that's something you're interested in. I'll make another video on that. There's a lot that went into it, and I did it all myself, which is fun. I would change some things now for sure, but at the time they worked out. I'm happy with what they came out to be.